Hello, kind listener.
Hello, mean listener.
Hello, just kind of ambivalent listener. Or average, mooded, and anger level, or nice level listener.
Yeah. Hi to all of you.
Today we are Craig and China today. And we are here to tell you two stories, as we do.
Yep.
For Story Not Story. The theme song of Story Not Story goes like this. This is a new one. La. Story Not Story. Thank you.
That was really, really a thing that you did.
Sure was.
Uh-huh.
So, we have a couple suggested stories that we like that we are going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to go first, though.
I am going to go first. What am I supposed to tell a story about? Who's my suggestion from?
Your suggestion is from our email, storynotstorypodcast@gmail.com. And it is from Sarah Bond. And she sent us, with her email, she sent us a picture, an awesome picture.
A really, really lovely drawing related to one of the stories from our last episode.
Yes, it's Mitzi and Tacos.
It's one of my favorite pictures that I've ever seen. If you guys would like to see it, we'll put it up on Instagram and probably on our Patreon page and Twitter and Facebook.
Twitter and Facebook, yep.
Yeah, go find those things and
they'll be
see
linked
the awesome picture.
Yeah. And we have been to the Rijksmuseum. We have been to the Chicago Art Museum, Museum of Art, what is it? The Art Institute. There it is. We've been to a lot of art museums. This is your favorite picture you've ever seen.
This is my favorite picture that I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well,
it's got tacos and it's got my dog.
Yeah. I guess you're a little biased.
Sure.
But you guys will probably like it too.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be everybody's favorite picture.
It is an amazing picture.
Yep.
It is seriously great. But China.
Yes.
Could you tell me a story?
Yes.
From Sarah Bond about a nun whose secret passion is breakdancing.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. This is exciting. Because I happen to know a nun.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a total aside.
I know nuns.
Nuns?
Mm-hmm.
Nuns?
Nuns.
Well, I know a nun, so I know a lot about nuns.
Uh-huh.
The nun that I know, her secret passion is not breakdancing. It's actually cosplay.
Oh.
But I know a lot about nuns because of this nun, so I can imagine.
What's her name?
The one that I know?
Yeah.
Or the one that the story's going to be about?
And wait, her favorite passion is cosplay. Are you sure it's just not a non-nun who just likes to dress up as a nun?
Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say for certain.
Okay, but what's her name?
Julie.
Yep.
But this story is not about her.
No, okay.
This story is about a different nun.
Okay, this is very confusing.
A nun named, Sister Magdalena.
Sister Magdalena.
Of course.
Is that a real name?
I think so, isn't it?
Well, it is now, regardless.
Well, it's about her, so it's her name.
Okay.
It's a real name. I Googled it.
Fine.
I Googled it just now.
Okay.
So, Sister Magdalena wasn't always a nun. She was a regular girl, you know. She went to school. She went to high school. She even went to college before she, realized that what she really wanted to do was become a nun.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a lot of very normal life experiences.
Sure.
Before entering the convent. And one of those things that she did a lot of was dancing. Specifically breakdancing.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is breakdancing, for those who don't know?
Breakdancing is like dancing. I'm not 100% sure, but it's like dancing where you knock stuff over a lot, right? Is that?
No.
No? I think I'm thinking of something else. What's breakdancing?
No. You know what breakdancing is.
What's breakdancing? You put down cardboard.
Yes.
And you listen to some hip hop.
It could be. I don't know if it necessarily has to be hip hop. Probably.
It seems mostly hip hop when I've seen it in the movies.
Probably got to have a good beat to it.
And you do like cool moves, and you spin around and like put your feet up in the air, and
you spin it. Sometimes one of my favorite moves is you spin around on your head.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
It seems a little uncomfortable.
Well, Magdalena was a pro at that particular move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, she graduated college and decided to become a nun, and she gave up breakdancing because I think that's probably a rule somewhere. I don't know a lot about nuns, but I think that you probably aren't supposed to do a lot of breakdancing. Mm-hmm. So she gave it up, and she was really happy and fulfilled. But as the years went on, she found that she was really missing some aspects of her old life, mostly just breakdancing. She was very passionate about it.
Yeah.
And she struggled with this for a while, and she prayed about it, and she eventually came to the decision that really this was just something that made her happy and fulfilled, and that there was no harm in continuing to do it in private. And so at night in her room, she would sing hip-hop songs to herself.
Could you give an example?
No. I don't know any hip-hop songs.
Just a beat. Just a beat.
Yeah, she would just, I don't know, like imagine a cool beat, like boom boom chicka chicka boom boom. I don't know, why are you making me do this? Because
I think it's obvious why.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she would do that, and and other songs. She was much more familiar with hip hop than I am. Mm-hmm. And then she would practice her breakdancing moves. It had the added bonus of being really great cardio also. So she was getting super fit, and the other nuns were noticing how healthy she looked, and you know, she wouldn't have trouble walking up the stairs and stuff, wouldn't get out of breath.
I have a few questions.
Yes.
Did she spin around on her head?
Of course.
Any other moves you could describe?
The worm.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
And the one where like you're on your head and you have your hands holding you up, but then your legs are doing like back and forth scissory moves and stuff. The scissory moves, that's what they call them. Yeah, and then the one where you're like laying on your back and you kind of use your legs to launch yourself up, and then you're standing up. Yeah. That one. Cool. Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Where is this convent?
It's in Belize.
Belize.
Yeah.
So does she speak Belizean?
Yeah. They might speak Spanish there.
I think so.
Probably. Who knows? Yes, but also English, and she's very worldly. She went to school in the United States.
Okay.
And
so is she on a mission or something?
No, she just she was from there. She came to the United States to go to school, and then she moved back and became a nun.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear.
No.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, the months go on, and she's nightly practicing her breakdancing. Mm-hmm. And the other nuns are starting to get kind of suspicious because, again, she's getting really fit. Uh-huh. And they don't really see her doing a lot of exercise during the day or anything. So some of the other nuns start spying a little bit.
That seems wrong.
Trying to figure out what's going on. Well, everybody's curious.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And so one night, sisters Josephine and Gertrude sneak down the hall of the convent toward Magdalena's room. Mm-hmm. And as they approach the door, they hear some weird sounds.
Uh-oh, like what?
Like, well, lots of shuffling and sliding and scraping type noises. Mm-hmm. Some heavy breathing.
Sure.
And just a subtle, very quiet whisper of boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka.
I'm glad you did that again.
I know. I knew that you would make me if I didn't do it voluntarily. So I just went ahead and did it.
Okay, good.
And they were really confused, but they thought, with all these weird heavy breathing noises and shuffling and scraping, they thought maybe she was up to something else. Maybe she wasn't the only one in their room, if you catch my drift. If you get what I'm saying.
Oh, wait. So maybe she was playing checkers?
Yes, with a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And checkers is a euphemism.
Oh, a euphemism for Scrabble.
Yes.
Okay.
And Scrabble is another euphemism.
A double euphemism.
For the physical act of love.
Hugging?
Yes, which is a euphemism.
Oh.
For...
bear hugging?
Yes, which is a euphemism for...
watching Parks and Recreation on TV.
No.
With the person you love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is an innuendo.
Oh.
For sex. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's what they thought she was doing.
That wouldn't have even occurred to me.
Nope. It clearly wouldn't have.
Wow.
Yep. So they needed to catch her in the act. Mm-hmm. The physical act of love.
Yes, they did.
To prove their suspicions. So they burst in the door, expecting to see her with a man or woman, who knows?
Doing a sex.
Yeah. But in fact, she's on her head, doing her characteristic spinny head move. Mm-hmm. That's a very technical term in breakdancing.
Yeah.
And she stops, still standing on her head. Mm-hmm. And they stop because they're very confused. And they stare at each other for a couple of beats.
Like a couple of boom chicka booms?
Yeah, she's still doing that too.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, she doesn't stop making the boom chicka booms. So she's
staring at them going boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka. All right.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening.
Okay.
And then she's like, I can explain. Uh-huh. And they're like, well, you're going to need to, because we don't understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. We're pretty sure this is a sin, but we're not sure why, so please tell us what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So they sit down, she explains it all to them, her past, her breakdancing passion, how good it is for her heart and her body because she's so healthy. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that sisters Gertrude and Josephine, I almost couldn't remember their names.
No, I think I know what you're gonna say.
I don't know that you do. I don't even know what I'm gonna say yet.
Okay.
It turns out that they really want to. They've been noticing that as time goes on, they have a harder time getting around. They get tired really easily. They get winded going up the stairs, and they really need some more exercise. Yeah, and so they're like, Sister Magdalena, can you teach us to break dance?
See, I thought what you were going to say was that they were already super breakdancers.
No.
Okay, and they were just going to have a little jam or whatever you want to call it.
Well.
Yeah.
So Sister Magdalena starts teaching them. Every night they come to her room and have their breakdancing lessons, and word spreads, and it turns out that many of the nuns at this convent are also interested in learning how to breakdance, and eventually it's not a secret anymore.
This is like Sister Act, but for breakdancing.
Yes, I haven't seen that movie.
It's a combination of Sister Act and what's the breakdancing movie?
There's lots of them. Step Up.
Yeah, but there's like an old one, an old classic. The sequel is called Electric Boogaloo. I know that.
Oh,
but I don't remember what it's actually called. Anyway,
yeah. It's not those things though.
Okay.
This is my story.
All right.
So eventually it's not a secret anymore, and all of the nuns are taking breakdancing lessons every night, and everybody is a lot healthier, and they're living longer, and they're just really happy, fulfilled people. And Sister Magdalena doesn't have to keep her love for breakdancing a secret.
That's great.
And they also get a stereo so they can listen to music and no one has to go boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka.
They never get in trouble?
No, because the head nun, whatever that's called, also...
Captain Nun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her doctor's been telling her for years that she needs to get more exercise, and so she starts breakdancing too. And it's awesome.
What about the priest or the pastor or the...
I don't really know how it works.
Oh.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
But no, everybody is okay with it.
Wow, that's great.
Yep. Yeah. It's a happy story.
I like it.
I like you.
Yeah, really?
Yep.
And you like me. That's what a great story.
I know, yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Happy endings.
That's good. That story made me feel good.
Well, good.
Girl wanted to break dance, chased her dream, and helped others.
Yep.
Find their dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just shows that you can have your cake and eat it too. Her cake is being a nun, and the two...
Wait, where was the cake in the story? And
then they ate cake.
Okay, all right. Sure.
There you go. So that story is called Sister Magdalena's Secret Society.
Wow, that sounds like a much darker story than what it ended up being.
Yep.
Sister Magdalena's Secret Society.
Yep.
Okay, better write that down.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in the meantime, would you be interested in telling me a story?
Yes.
Awesome, that's great.
You know what the name of that movie was?
What?
Breakin'. I think it was just Breakin'.
Breakin'?
Yeah, and then it was Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Breakin'?
Yeah.
Can you spell that? Like...
Breakin'.
Apostrophe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, this next story suggestion comes from Alina.
Yes.
She's from Germany. And she loves our podcast and said a lot of really nice things about it. But her story suggestion is to tell a story about a monster that lives under the bed. Like the ones that scare little children?
Yes. Except
this monster isn't scary or evil at all.
Okay.
Oh.
Sure. I'll just talk from experience.
Okay.
This story is based on true events.
You had a non-evil monster under your bed?
I don't want to say I had a non-evil monster under my bed, but it's from experience.
Okay. I'm really excited to hear this. I love
fiction.
Learning more about it.
The story is totally fiction, but it's based on true events, some aspects of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, there was a young boy. Okay? That existed. Young boy.
Was his name Craig?
No. This is a fiction story.
Oh.
Nobody is named Craig in fake life.
Was his name Greg?
Yes.
Okay.
His name was Greg, spelled Graig. Greg. But it's pronounced Greg.
Okay.
Because that's how Americans pronounce Craig, with an AI in it.
Greg.
Everyone else pronounces it Craig. But here in the United States, we say Craig.
Yes.
So it's Greg. Graig. His name was Greg. It's not even based on me or anything. It's just the kid's name.
It's just his name.
Yeah. And so he was, one night, he was jumping on his bed for funsies.
That does sound pretty fun.
Doesn't it? Jumping on beds can be great. But once the first time you break a bed when you jump on it, it kind of ruins the fun.
That's not great. Also, if you fall off and bonk your head and your mama calls the doctor and the doctor says no more
jumping on that bed or something like that.
It's actually monkeys in the story, so it's no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Yeah, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Well,
yeah.
Wait, so monkeys? You had monkeys jumping on your bed when you were a kid?
Yeah, you didn't?
No.
Monkeys are very prone to bed jumping.
Well, any kind of jumping, really.
Sure.
Little monkeys, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he was jumping on the bed. And all of a sudden he hears a... Ah! And he's like, whoa, no, whoa, what was that? He said that out loud. And his dad comes running. His dad, whose name is...
probably doesn't really need a name.
Raj.
Raj?
His name's Raj. Yeah.
Is that short for anything?
No.
Okay.
And so Raj comes running. Dad to Greg. And he runs in. He's like, what? What's everything go? What's happened? What? I heard a noise. Under the bed. He's like, what? What are you? That's for what? You? Well, why? Well, I was just shuffling. I was just like moving around on the bed to like adjust to get comfortable. And he's like,
he lied.
And he's like, no, you weren't. You're standing up. And the bed is in disarray. It's moved a little. You were jumping on that bed, Greg. He's like, I'm sorry. It's like, no, it's fine. Jumping on bed's really fun.
That's good. He's an understanding father.
Yeah. But I think you may have broken it. If you heard a noise, you may have broken the bed. I'll go get the tools, Raj says.
Okay.
And so he marches on down to the garage, grabs his tools.
The garage?
The garage, yes. Yeah.
It's like his name.
It is. I think he was named after like half of a garage, actually. So
just the back half.
Yeah. His sister's name was Ga.
That's a bad name.
Ga.
Is that short for anything?
No.
Okay.
So he grabs his toolbox. It's heavy, and he walks it up the stairs. He's like, and his wife, Celia. What's the matter?
It takes you so long to come up with names of characters who don't need names because they're just mom and dad.
Everybody needs names.
Okay.
It's all about the details. You got to populate the story with details.
Good point.
Celia.
Yeah.
She's like, Raj, what are you doing, Raj? And Raj is like, Celia, I think the bed may be broken because Greg was jumping on it. And she's like, oh, that's okay. Go fix it. I'm sorry I yelled. And so he continues up the stairs. He goes to the room, and Raj is gone. Well, Raj is gone from the garage, but Greg is gone from the room.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he goes and he checks under the bed, and he sees like a little tail disappearing.
What?
Through a like a portal type thing. Yeah. And Raj freaks out. What was that? Was there an alligator in here? A disappearing alligator? Or something?
Did it look like an alligator tail?
It was a weird tail. It had scales. Yeah. It looked, it was kind of shiny. Lizardy. And what would you do in that situation?
I would freak out.
Yeah, and your kid's gone.
Sure.
He then runs to the neighbors who we know has a gun. And he's like, I need your gun. He just feels a little scared. But he doesn't want to call the cops.
Sure.
Because he's worried he may have, because he took some medicine earlier because of sinuses, and he thought maybe it was just the medicine freaking him out.
Yeah, so he went and got a gun.
Yeah. Neighbors weren't home, so he didn't get the gun, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So he goes back, and he goes to Celia. He actually went to get the gun before talking to his wife, which...
That's not great.
Yeah, he's like, Celia. And she's like, well, first of all, Raj, why did you just run outside the house and not say anything? I'm kind of panicked. Sorry, I'm making bad decisions. She's like, what's going on? I think our son was kidnapped by a monster. And the reaction you just gave me is the reaction she gave.
Yeah.
Eyebrows raised.
A little skeptical.
A little skeptical. She's like, what? I know how it sounds. Celia, I know how it sounds. I did, maybe I'm seeing things. I did take some sinus medicine earlier. And she says, well, what's going on? Where's Greg? I don't know. I went upstairs and I looked in the room and Greg was missing, and I went and looked under the bed and I saw a friggin' monster disappearing. What does that mean, a monster well, it was like a tail and it was going in a portal. And she's like, come here, let's go. And then they go upstairs, they move the bed.
Really, that should have been step one.
Yeah, probably. He's on medicine.
I know. He's all hopped up on NyQuil.
You immediately side with the mom in this situation.
She seems to be the only one thinking clearly in this story.
Okay, then the mom, I gotta make her do something that seems like she wasn't thinking clearly. No, she's fine. She's gotta handle the situation. They move the bed. They look. They like feel around on the carpet. Nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing there. And they call the cops. Mm-hmm. And the cops show up. They look. They are very skeptical. They tell the cops our son is missing. They don't mention the monster. They say he was. They say. He was last jumping on the bed, and he went to get the tool. He tells them the whole thing, and he's like, we'll put out an APB.
I think that's what they're called.
That's what
maybe
they do.
Yeah,
sure. And so they put out an APB. A week goes by, and he's gone. He's still missing. Mm-hmm. Parents are not happy.
No, I would imagine not.
Then all of a sudden, they hear him jumping on the bed.
What?
Or they hear something jumping on the bed. They go to the room. It's him. I kind of I ruined the surprise.
Yeah.
And he's jumping on the bed and he's laughing and he's happy. And they're like, where have you been? And they hug him and they're so happy. And then they're a little angry. They're like, well, why are you happy? What's going on? They're like, what? I just went. I found a monster and played with him in a magical land for like 10 minutes.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It had only been 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whoa! But it was a week on Earth.
But it was a week on Earth. They're like, you've been gone for a week. He said, no, I haven't. That's silly. And they have a long discussion, and they're worried about their son's sanity and where he's been. And then they hear a little whoop from the bed, under the bed. Uh-huh. And they're like, what? Is the bed breaking again? I'll go get the tools. Raj goes to get the tools.
He really needs to look under the bed or just examine the bed to see if it's actually broken.
He probably should.
Before getting the tools.
He should. But he doesn't make good decisions. He's a dumb husband.
Yep.
Dumb man, right?
Typical
dumb man. And he goes to get the tools, comes back. Craig's gone.
That's not his name.
No. Greg's gone. Celia's gone.
What?
He calls the cops. He says, my son and my wife's missing. Now the cops are like suspecting him.
Yeah. It's pretty suspicious.
Yeah. They monitor the house for a week. They're still gone. Raj is very sad. Mm-hmm. Confused. Mm-hmm. And then he hears a little boop upstairs. He goes upstairs, and they're back, and they're both laughing. And then Celia realizes, ooh, we were probably gone for a week, weren't we? Mm-hmm. Raj, it's the most amazing place. It's filled with these things that look like monsters and a little bit like alligators, but they're friendly. And he's like, what? You got what? I mean, you're a grown woman. What are you I guess I believe you because I don't know any other explanation. Have you been taking my sinus medicine? And she's like, no, I don't take your medicine. And so then what happens is the monster comes out from under the bed.
Whoa. And I've been waiting for this to happen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. And Roger's like, oh my God! At this point, he has a gun. And he pulls it out, points it. He actually shoots on accident.
Oh my
He didn't mean to shoot. He shoots on accident.
Raj.
But it doesn't hit anybody, luckily. Yeah. But the monster freaks out and is like yelling, oh my God, you thought, no, I'm a good monster. You think I'm evil, but I'm actually good and friendly, and I'm gonna leave now because you're scaring me. And the monster goes back to the magical land, and they never see him again.
Aw. Dang it, Raj.
Until Greg is 36 years old.
Uh-huh.
And
that's your age now.
Yeah, that's my age. What does that have to do with anything?
Nothing.
Okay. And they just go about their lives. Celia never forgets this moment, and she's amazed by it. And she paints pictures of the magical land that they saw. And Raj is like, he gets rid of the gun. They don't have a gun in the house anymore.
I thought they didn't have a gun in the house anyway because he was going to go borrow it from the neighbor.
Yeah, but then he got one in that week.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That wasn't made explicit.
No. And so they don't have guns anymore. Celia's, she's never forgotten about this. She makes books of these paintings, and actually they make a little money off of them. They're pretty good. They look good on a wall. Mm-hmm. Greg, he's older now. He's living on his. He's 36. He doesn't live with them anymore. That would be weird.
That would be weird.
No, there's nothing wrong with living with your parents at an older age, but
he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Okay.
So he's out at a coffee shop one day, and the barista serving him is like, "Here's your change, Greg." And then he hears that same noise.
At a coffee shop?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
The barista. Yeah.
I don't understand.
And the barista winks at him and like briefly shoves his tail back under his shirt.
Is he a monster wearing a human suit?
Is he? Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he looks like a human. His face looks like a human.
Always it had?
No.
Oh, okay.
Apparently can shapeshift.
All right.
And that's the end.
Great.
Maybe there's more, but that's for another time.
Okay. What's your story called?
My story? What are you laughing about?
Nothing.
What are you laughing about?
I'm not laughing about anything. What's your story called?
My story's called Guns Scare Monsters.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Guns Scare Monsters.
Guns Scare Monsters. And yours is called?
Sister Magdalena's Secret Society.
Sister Magdalena's Secret Society. Mm-hmm. These are a couple of great stories, I think. I hope you enjoyed them, everybody. We have a Patreon page, patreon.com/storynotstory. If you would like to support our podcast, there's perks such as an extra story a month. Mm-hmm. Our sound check recordings.
Yeah, which are sometimes really fun and funny.
Yes. And you get first. We will look at your suggestions for stories first. So they get put at the top of the pile.
Yep. And if anybody else wants to write in some story suggestions, you can email them to us at storynotstorypodcast@gmail.com. Tweet them at us. We're at Stories in Bed on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/storynotstory. And we'll post the picture that Sarah drew of one of our stories from last week on our Instagram, which is instagram.com/storynotstorypodcast. And that'll also be on the Facebook and the Twitter and the Patreon. If you want to go and see that, which
Twitter
you should.
is Stories in Bed. Did you say that?
I already said that, yes.
That. I should say, though, if you are a patron, send us a message through Patreon so that we know that you are a patron.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have a suggestion. And that is all this time.
That's it. I hope you enjoyed these stories. This episode was a little late, so you will find another episode in your podcast app or wherever you listen to this in the next couple days, probably Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, no, you'll find it today.
Another episode.
Oh, another one, yes. I'm very confused.
Yes. Go to sleep.
I had sinus medicine earlier.
Yeah. All right,
Sorry.
guys. Good night.
Good night.